What's up everyone, welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like and subscribe and then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon. We're posting 4 videos every day, so make sure to check back every single day. We're aiming for 20k subscribers and get a deal in the description if you haven't already. This is not financial advice. Welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Let's begin. What's up guys, so just before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe and bell icon. People aren't seeing our content and that's probably because you haven't hit the bell. Thank you again for all your support. We're so proud of the amazing community that we've built. What's up guys, so we don't often do sponsored videos, but we think that Bitsgap is a platform that we've been actually looking at and using ourselves. And we think this is a really great collaboration. And it makes a lot of sense considering we've been looking at using this platform ourselves as well. So basically, what we're looking at here is Bitsgap. It's essentially a trading platform. But the interesting thing about it is that it has trading bots, which is something that we've been looking at for a long time now. We do think this is very interesting indeed. You can take a look here and see some of the bots that we've actually set up over the past few days. And you can see obviously some of the results already. They have full features for trading on their platform, but as we said, the trading bots are the most interesting and powerful part of the platform. Trading bots are very powerful because they allow for passive income essentially. But usually they are very expensive or very complicated to use, which puts a lot of new people off. But basically, we've been testing Bitsgap for a few months prior to this collaboration, and we can actually vouch for how easy it is to use and also the amount of data you can actually gather for the potential setups of the bots, etc., and how easy they are to actually set up. As we said, we've actually been looking at Bitsgap for a little while before they contacted us about this collaboration, so it was actually a match made in heaven really for the channel, because we actually have been looking at this platform, and we're not just randomly shilling it, we're basically actually looking at this platform, using it before they decided to come and collaborate with us. And we do think it's a really good platform with a lot of potential. And as you can see, these bots that we've been running for the past 24 hours or so are kind of testament to the results that you can potentially get. So basically, the reason that trading bots are so powerful is because they can leverage techniques to generate revenue that humans would struggle to achieve. So for example, it's possible that humans can execute a lot of trades, but doing it basically with a strategy over a long period of time can be really difficult. But with trading bots, it essentially changes in the market can be taken advantage of continuously. And the grid bot strategy, which is what Bitsgap primarily uses, is extremely powerful because they can execute hundreds of small trades based on the little tiny movements of the market that may be difficult for a human trader to catch, for example. And they can do this continuously through a use of a grid, buying and selling as the market moves. So you can actually see on this particular chart here, you can actually just see the grid that's been set up for this particular bot. And if we zoom in, you can see all these tiny little areas of the grid here. And these essentially decide when to buy and sell. And you can actually see since the bot has been running that there have actually been buy and sell orders been placed as the market's been moving up and down. And obviously, as the price action goes down, these are all sell orders essentially, and you'll get more sells and buys. And if the market started to move down like this, you can see all these green limit orders. They would be buying more than selling. But obviously the bot, you can see here quite clearly, it continuously buys and sells as the market moves. So it essentially makes money on every little movement of the market, which is really interesting. And this is something that we've been looking at for a while because we've been really looking at ways to make passive income. And we do think that this could potentially be a really strong way of doing this. And as you can see, the results from yesterday, as we said before, speak for themselves really when you look at actually how powerful these bots have actually been, trading and achieving gains. We've essentially made, from a collective $10,000 invested here across 5 bots, we've essentially made about $230 in profit in less than 24 hours, which is kind of ridiculous when you think about it. In terms of an ROI, that's obviously a massive amount. Getting, the average of these is probably potentially maybe like 1, 2, maybe even 3% in a day, which is absolutely crazy ROI on your money for something that's, so consistent and potentially so effective. So basically, one of the main tools that we find so good about Bitsgap is the fact that you can use a demo account, which is what we've been actually using these for, just to test out some strategies, because it's really good for testing, potential setups on bots that you're thinking about using. As you can see, there's plenty of options in terms of setting up your bots, and you can actually, test basically how things are working on the platform, which is really interesting. You can see you can actually go into quite a lot of detail here about the kinds of things that you can do with the bots. For example, if we just wanted to set up another bot here on a random pair, for example, if we just pick something with BUSD, because I think I've got quite a lot of that left in my account. So for example, if we wanted to set up a bot on Aave here, for example, It's really, really simple. You can see we just select Aave. We've obviously got, you can choose between the S bot and the classic bot, which have slightly different functionalities, which we'll go into in a little bit. But it's very, very simple to set up. You basically just select your exchange, which you'll have to connect to via an API, which is pretty simple to do. There's plenty of tutorials that are 3 or 4 minutes long that'll tell you how to do this. But you basically just go onto Binance or an exchange of your choice that you want to trade on. You make sure that your cryptos that you want to use for the trading are on that platform. You connect via the API, which is very simple to set up on the platform. You just go to API, create the API, link it to your Bitsgap account, sorry. And then it's very simply set up. You just select your exchange that you're using. You select the pair that you want to use. So for example, if you've got 1,000 BUSD, you can select BUSD. And then if you put 1,000 in here like this, obviously, because this grid is so large, you won't be able to actually fund all of these separate parts of the grid here. So you can either make the grid steps bigger, which means that there'll be slightly larger increments between them like this, for example. You can keep going up until you've essentially, got something that works. As you can see, with a 2 grid step size, we can actually fund it with 1,000 USD. But what we actually like to do is, what was this actually on originally? Can I undo this? Yes, I can. We undo this all the way back to where it was. Probably a better strategy to do is to make your grid size, you can actually basically do some technical analysis on what's going on with the chart here. And you can probably ascertain that most likely Aave here, for example, isn't probably going to go lower than basically where it was before. And then you can see you can basically bring your limits down like this, or up, for example. Actually put this back to 1,000. You can actually move your limits up and down until you get like the sweet spot where you can actually fund that little area that you're in. Because the best thing about the trading bots is the frequency of the trading. So you want to keep your grid steps as low as possible. So you've got a lot of condensed grid steps in one area, for example. This seems to be the way that they set up as default, and we do think this is probably the best way to set them up. So if you had $1,000 here, you can see this is working. And then you've got your options here. You can basically set your upper and lower price here or here, but we like to do it here because you can actually visualize what's going on a bit with the technical analysis. And then you can see you can set your grid steps and your levels, which is essentially what we've just done. And you can see here we've got some very powerful tools. Obviously trading up, this means that if the price action goes up, the grid steps will actually follow the price action, which is really, really strong. And you can have a trailing down as well. So if the price action keeps coming down like this, the grid steps will move with it. And this does have a stop loss as well. If the market just keeps falling and falling and falling, and you basically want to get out of the trading bot because, things are collapsing, you can set a stop loss as well, which is a really powerful tool. So with all this being said, if you want to take profit and set a stop loss as well, you can. If you just want to leave the bot going for essentially as long as possible and just see how it runs, then all you'd have to do, that is all set up, and you just have to click start. Essentially what will happen then is it will use the BUSD to create the pair. So obviously you need an equal amount of each of the pair. So it will buy back some Aave with the BUSD that you had in your account. So you just select yes, and then it'll basically decide it needs to buy a little bit more Aave just to even things out. You might have to do this a few times, but it's a very painless process. And as you can see, the bot is now set up, and it is essentially populating all these little buy and sell orders, and it will begin trading straight away. Obviously, something else to keep in mind is the value of your overall position will increase and decrease with the market as well. As you can see, this UFT BUSD pair that we actually set up here, you can see quite clearly that from yesterday, even though we put $2,000 in, the market has risen a little for this crypto, so it's actually up to $2,043. And the bot as well has also made $112 on top of that. So obviously this is really, really interesting because not only can you make money from the bot, but the actual price of the assets that you buy back, because obviously half of this is BUSD, half of this is UFT, right? So it's actually trading upwards, and also, you're getting the appreciation of the underlying asset, which is really cool as well. So basically, as you can see, the trading bots are very easy to use, and one of the best, one of the best things that we like about this platform, apart from the demo account, which you can essentially, back test. You can essentially try out all kinds of different things. But basically, this is where we got the UFT from, is actually, if you come down here, you can see this monthly back testing result, which we think is basically one of the most powerful tools on this platform. And these are essentially back tested pairs that have, these kinds of returns. So 28% return in a month on UFT BUSD, which is why we decided to run this bot in the first place, because you can see it actually back tests the bot for the past month and calculates its rate of success. And as you can see, a 28% gain in a month on a $2,000 investment is obviously absolutely ridiculous. That's essentially, what is that? $500, $600, maybe $700, a 30% of $2,000. So obviously pretty amazing. And we do think this is one of the most powerful things about this platform, because you can essentially go on the demo mode, you can find the pairs that have actually performed the best in the past month, and you can just run them with a large amount of capital, see how they perform, and then if you're confident in that, you can actually go onto the platform with your own money, connect your exchange up, and then just run that bot, which is back tested and has, you know, good results that are actually verifiable because they've been back tested with the strategies that are being used. And you can see, like, the performance speaks for itself, really. I mean, this is up $112 in less than 24 hours. So obviously that's pretty incredible. Obviously this needs a bit more time to settle down in terms of, you know, if it's going to perform well with more fluctuations in the market. But you can see quite clearly that this is a very powerful tool. And we do strongly think that this back testing is probably the most powerful tool, because it really allows you just to select tried and tested pairs that have been performing. And as you can see, they're not necessarily the ones you'd expect. UFT is quite a niche altcoin, we would say, but this is just leveraging essentially everything on Binance. And because it has so many different pairs, you can see that it's essentially, you know, just going through, finding all kinds of pairs that are working really well, and you can utilize them to your advantage. So you can just see from all this how easy the platform is to use. It was basically a 2-minute job for us to set this bot up, and it's already trading. As you can see, it might take a little while for it to turn a profit here, because obviously it's still trying to settle down and ascertain what's going on. It's just bought its first position, as you can see by the chart here. But you can see there's essentially a very high level of functionality to customize the bots for your specific needs, basically. Also, again, being able to backtest is just very, very strong in general. We do think that is one of the best functionalities of Bitsgap, and it is very, you know, it's very, very good, basically. And even with someone with no real experience, you could see that was very, very simple to set up. It's very, very easy to basically just click. It's basically just, you know, quite literally, you just choose your bot, choose your exchange, make sure it's linked, choose the pair that you want to trade, choose the size of your investment, make sure that, you know, you do a little bit of technical analysis about what the price action is doing, and cover the, you know, the necessary grid based on your investment. I would recommend keeping your grid steps as low as possible, because I think that would probably yield the best results, because you will be trading more inside of your grid, even if it's a slightly smaller range. And then you can have the trailing up or trailing down, which basically means that the grid will move with the price action, which is very, very strong as well. And basically anyone with even people with no real experience, you can see they can actually come on, use the demo account, basically trial loads of different bots, but use the back tested ones, see how well they do, and then you can basically start and stop your bots anytime through this interface as well. Like, for example, if you wanted to stop one of these bots, you could basically just come onto the cancel here. You can cancel your open orders, or you can, which means that the bot will stop, but you will keep the cryptos that it bought. Or you can sell at market price, which means that essentially if the bot, for example, if the bot goes up, if the price of Aave went up like 50% in the next few days, your bot's, the overall value of that bot that you're running is going to increase significantly, 50% of the actual value of it. And in that instance, if you wanted to sell and take the profits of the whole thing, you could essentially sell at market price, which would mean that you would just sell the Aave that you bought at a higher price, along with all the gains that you made from the bot, etc. So you can see this is really, really strong. You can also go into the stats of the bot itself. Obviously, you're getting in a bit more technical here, and this is probably not as newbie friendly, but you can see exactly what it's doing. Then you can go in and you can see all the trades that it's made here, all the little different, basically all the little increments that it's actually bought and sold. You can see how many, basically every single trade here is in a gain. It's either break even or in a gain. Look, you can see a little 21 cents here, 16 cents here, and it all adds up, as you can see. Over the course of, you know, not even a day, we've made $112 on this bot's profit. So very, very, very powerful. We do think this is a very, very strong platform, and we have been testing it ourselves. As you can see, we basically, you know, we've been running that UFT bot since yesterday, my goodness, because it was basically the best back-tested result. So we just decided to run it to see how it would do. And you can see the results are really speaking for themselves at this point. A very, very strong platform. You can see quite clearly it's doing very well. And there are many different combinations of bots you can use, etc. With the bots using your investment slightly differently depending on which one you use. But we do think the S-bot seems to be the best way to go, because it allows for smaller intervals between the levels of the grid. As we said, that means more frequent trades and better control over your funds, basically. And it allows for maximum returns on the upside, and it actually minimizes the losses as the price action starts to come down as well. So it's basically kind of hedging all the time for you and minimizing your risk to the downside, which we basically think is just a really powerful tool in general. So just a little summary of everything then. Basically, to finish off, you can see we've set up a bot here. You can see these back-tested results. You can use demo accounts and other different kinds of accounts. There are basically free and paid plans for Bitsgap as well. You can actually get started with one bot for free, we believe, which is actually really, really interesting. And there's a lot of different paid plans, which are very, very affordable. And considering the kinds of gains that you can see here, I mean, even just paying the $15 a month plan where you can have, I believe, 5 bots or up to 5 bots, you can see obviously the results kind of speak for themselves in terms of the gains and the potential here. It's very, very clear that the platform is extremely powerful. And you can come on, if you're feeling, you know, super low risk, you can come on to the demo mode as we've used here. You can use the back-tested results. You can find strategies that work, and then you can actually get you can basically get a paid plan after that. And we will have an affiliate link in the description below, by the way, if you want to sign up. We will get a nice little kickback off of that, which is really which is great for us. But we do really strongly think that this is a really good platform, as you can see, and we do really believe in it. And we're definitely going to be using this ourselves. So we're not just, you know, trying to shill this to people just because it's a sponsored video. We do really, really think that this is a top quality platform. And you can see, I mean, the results speak for themselves here, really. This has only been a day, and we've essentially made, you know, from a 10K investment across all of these different bots here that we've had set up for less than a day, we've made over $230-ish of profit. So that's just on the bots. Obviously, the assets themselves have appreciated a little bit as well. So a really, really top quality project in general. We really do, you know, recommend that this project does get some attention from you at least. Go and check it out, you know, watch some other videos on it, because we really do think that this is a top quality platform, and we do think that, you know, you could potentially make a lot of money with it. So that's it, guys. We'd like to thank everyone so much for their support. If you've got any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe and then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon, to stay up to date with the 4 videos that we post every single day. Remember, if you want to support the channel more directly and get a ton of benefits and insight, as well as joining our growing community, consider the Patreon or YouTube membership down below. You can also sign up to our free Telegram via the description as well. All the links are in the description for affiliate links for discounts and free crypto, so go check them all out below. There's plenty of goodness on offer. Please like and subscribe. We are Crypto Maximalists.